There have been several stories about the Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard as Microsoft ramps up their PR campaign to make sure that this thing goes through. They're actually meeting with the FTC with a small group of attorneys very soon, and a lot has been going on. Let's just talk about what's happening here. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when my content goes live. Thank you so much for watching. Now, we have a few articles here over on the New York Post where they're saying that Microsoft President Brad Smith is to meet with the FTC bigs over the $69 billion Activision deal. That's according to sources. And I believe a few outlets have talked about how that is happening now. So it's likely come to pass. So this was reported yesterday, and as of today, we have Bloomberg saying that, yeah, they're about to meet with the FTC because they want to get this deal to go through as soon as possible. Sony has actually already gone to Capitol Hill, met with a bunch of people to try and stir up some interest about this deal. But more recently, if you saw the video yesterday, they've offered a 10-year deal to Nintendo, who has accepted. They've signed the deal with Microsoft to get Call of Duty on the Switch. They've signed with Valve, and Valve actually had a comment on it, according to Kotaku. They said, "We're happy that Microsoft wants to continue using Steam to reach customers with Call of Duty when their Activision acquisition closes. Microsoft has been on Steam for a long time, and we take it as a signal that they are happy with gamers' reception to that and the work we are doing. Our job is to keep building valuable features for not only Microsoft, but all Steam customers and partners. Microsoft offered and even sent us a draft agreement for a long-term Call of Duty commitment, but it wasn't necessary for us because A, we're not believers in requiring any partner to have an agreement that locks them to shipping games on Steam into the distant future, and B, Phil and the games team at Microsoft have always followed through on what they told us they would do, so we trust their intentions, and C, we think Microsoft has all the motivation they need to be on the platforms and devices where Call of Duty customers want to be." That was Gabe Newell talking about an offer that was extended to him on Steam, and he's like, yeah, we don't need to sign anything. You're all good, dude. We think that we completely understand why you want Call of Duty here because you will make a lot of money if it's on Steam. We understand why you want it on Nintendo. We understand why you want it everywhere else. Who doesn't want it and why is the question. Well, Sony doesn't want it, and they only don't want it because they're trying to use it as a bargaining chip to get the deal canceled. What they really want is they do not want Microsoft to buy Activision because that means they're going to need to work a lot harder to stay on top and to keep that competition even with Microsoft. And that's exactly what I want. I want both of these companies working really, really hard to earn our money, earn our time to play on their consoles. You know, Sony's doing a great job with their exclusive. I think their exclusive content, their games are amazing. Microsoft hopefully gets their stuff together and starts releasing exclusive. But in terms of services, Microsoft's really got a lock on that, and that's one area Sony could improve. But anyway, continuing on, this story is all about Brad Smith, who is going to meet with the FTC over the $69 billion Activision deal. According to this article, he is planning to meet with the Federal Trade Commission's 3 Democratic members on Wednesday in a last-ditch bid to keep the tech giant's blockbuster video game deal from getting scrapped over antitrust concerns. Now, they also reported that there is a bit of a rift at the FTC, which is leaning towards the idea that Microsoft's deal could actually go through. At least one Democrat on the 4-member panel has recently taken a sympathetic view of the merger, according to a source close to this situation. That in turn could create a difficult path for FTC Chair Lina Khan, who according to insiders has eyed Microsoft's deal as a major target as she looks to burnish her credentials as a trust buster of big tech. Sources said Khan, who said publicly in June the agency was scrutinizing the deal's impact on workers, was in recent weeks still pushing to sue to block the merger, which would pair Microsoft's Xbox with hit Activision games like Call of Duty and Candy Crush. Late last month, Politico reported that an FTC lawsuit against the deal was likely, noting that the agency's staff are skeptical of the company's arguments. Now, what's actually happening there is likely they are staffing up, they are getting all the documentation ready if they need to sue. What they really want Microsoft to do is to agree to consent decrees. And if you've been watching my videos, I talk about that in almost every video. All of these regulatory branches, they're all going to ask for consent decrees. And what that is, according to my understanding, is agreements where, yes, they'll keep Call of Duty on Nintendo for 10 years, or they'll keep Call of Duty on Steam for 10 years, which they've already proactively done. And they want them to extend that deal to Sony. Now, what I'm imagining is they will want... I just saw one of the stupid ads on this thing and it totally distracted me. Like, why? These things are awful. Anyway, what they're trying to do is they're trying to make these offers to Valve and Nintendo so that Sony kind of looks bad when they're not accepting a 10-year deal. And it also makes their ammunition against the deal a little bit weakened. So there's this rift going on, and somebody said that they're trying to push it through due to pregnancy. Sources said Microsoft Smith is scrambling to win over the powerful panel in a hurry, partly because Khan is pregnant and expected to go on maternity leave this month. I don't know where that's coming from, but they responded saying Chair Khan is expecting a baby in January and will take a short parental leave before quickly returning to her duties. FTC spokesperson Douglas Farrar said the idea that any possible law enforcement actions by the commission could be affected by her pregnancy is sexist and absurd speculation with absolutely no basis in reality. So they shot that one down pretty quick. Why would they even say that? And then they're like, that's nonsense. Nobody thinks that. Sources said Smith, who on Monday wrote an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal arguing for the deal, will stress that Microsoft is now offering rival Sony a 10-year licensing deal for Activision games, including Call of Duty on its PlayStation consoles, and that the games would be released to them at the same time it becomes available on Microsoft's Xbox. Sony's concern is Microsoft by owning a leading console maker and maker of popular video games could have too much market power. That's nonsense. Separately, being in third place is too much market power. That doesn't make any sense. Separately, this week, the Communications Workers of America said it supported the deal as news broke that 300 workers at Microsoft's gaming studio ZeniMax are voting this month on forming Microsoft's first union. Yeah, that's right. I don't know if you saw this story. I was going to talk a little bit about it in a little bit later, but this was just reported this week. 300 workers at ZeniMax Media, a Microsoft-owned parent company of gaming studios like Bethesda, are voting on unionizing, and reports are saying that Microsoft is going to allow the deal, basically just step back. Microsoft will voluntarily recognize the union, according to the CWA, which reps the workers. CWA's blessed Microsoft's Activision bid after achieving a labor neutrality pledge. So all of this, in part, is just to appease regulators. They're going to say, look, we let Activision unionize. I believe Raven Software unionize. We let Bethesda Softworks 300 employees unionize. We're letting these unionization things happen. We're not concerned about them. So that argument is invalid. The exclusivity deal with Call of Duty is now made invalid. The only thing that they really have left going for them is the Game Pass deal, where Call of Duty is going to be on Game Pass, but it won't be on PlayStation Plus. But that's just competition, and they're going to need a really, really strong case to say that that is anti-competitive for some reason, where Microsoft is willing to put those games on Xbox Game Pass so that people can just get them as part of their subscription. That's going to be a long road ahead for them. Now, this was all spawned by this article over in the Wall Street Journal. I got paywalled, so I wasn't able to read it, but Brad Smith said the FTC blocking our acquisition of Activision Blizzard would make the gaming industry less competitive and gamers worse off. This deal is good for competition, consumers, and thousands of game developers. I do wholeheartedly think that at the end of the day, this would be the best thing for the Activision workers who have been dealing with a lot of issues at the company that are just really, really horrible to read about. So I do think in that respect, it would be better. I do think it would be better for consumers. I don't really see an angle where this is bad. I don't see any angle where this is a negative thing for the gaming industry as a whole. Some people would vehemently disagree with me. I don't see it. I don't see the writing on the wall where this is catastrophic for gaming. If Call of Duty, the game everybody makes fun of and laughs about and complains about it having an annualized franchise, all of a sudden when Microsoft wants to buy it, it's an issue. Come on. We all know what that is. Tom Warren pointed out that Microsoft says it has offered Sony a 10-year contract on new Call of Duty games. It also says Sony has emerged as the loudest objector to the Activision deal, and it's as excited about this deal as Blockbuster was about the rise of Netflix. That is a weird quote, and that is the actual quote from the Wall Street article was, Microsoft has offered Sony a 10-year contract to make the future of Call of Duty games available on PlayStation if its proposed Activision Blizzard acquisition goes ahead. Microsoft President Brad Smith confirmed the deal in an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal today, noting that Sony has emerged as the loudest objector to Microsoft's proposed $68.7 billion acquisition, and that it's as excited about this deal as Blockbuster was about the rise of Netflix. Blockbuster wasn't excited about the rise of, like, that's just a terrible comparison because Netflix put Blockbuster in all movie chains out of competition. I don't know why you would say that. Sometimes these people say things and I'm just like, that makes you look evil, right? You're basically comparing yourself to, I know what the comparison they're trying to make. The evolution of movie renting, right? Netflix, etc. But that put a lot of movie chains out of business or severely disadvantaged them. So to make that comparison, probably not the best look. And I saw this tweet from Paul. Is the Microsoft analogy here that this deal will help wipe their competition off the face of the earth, which seems problematic for antitrust hearings? Yeah, so when you're going in to talk to the FTC and Lena Khan, maybe you shouldn't be going around saying like, we're going to crush the competition. Like Blockbuster was crushed by the rise of Netflix. Maybe don't do that. He continued on here. Let's just read the next paragraph. We've offered Sony a 10-year contract to make each new Call of Duty release available on PlayStation the same day it comes to Xbox, says Smith. We're open to providing the same commitment to other platforms and making it legally enforceable by regulators in the US, UK, and European Union. So they've done that for Nintendo now. They've done that for Valve. They have those deals in writing and those agreements in writing. They recently had to raise the price of their games to $70 for their next gen only games, which sucks, but it is what it is. It was inevitable. We all saw the writing on the wall. As soon as Phil said, yeah, we're going to have to raise the price on something, we knew that was coming. Do I like it? Absolutely not. It sucks, but everybody else has done it. Now Microsoft has done it. So yay, whatever. I don't like it. But anyway, what they're doing right now, they're doing all these things. They're doing this interview, this op-ed. They're doing the meetings with the FTC. They're extending Call of Duty to Nintendo and Valve so that Sony's arguments are invalid. They're doing this right ahead of their meeting with the FTC, the big guns in this deal. And the CMA stuff is still ongoing, of course. I know I haven't read from that document in a few days. I don't know. If there's still news every day, I'm going to cover the news as opposed to the document. But yeah. So all this is happening at the same time. And what they want is they want this deal closed as soon as possible. And I'll be right here covering it as it happens. That is what has been going on. There's some unionization. All of these things have been happening. Op-eds are being written by, major higher ups in companies. It's some very, very interesting stuff. And thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell to know when my content goes live. I drank a little coffee before reading, and now my vocal cords are like a little messed up. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to the members who support this channel. Over here are fine members. Thank you to all of them. And if you would like to become one, you can click that join button right down there. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Hey, if you want to see how much money Microsoft stands to make from this deal, I posted that video yesterday. Here it is again. If you missed it, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much. Bye for now.